Did you know there's an epidemic in our high schools trapping one child after another in its web? This culprit is called vaping. According to the Center for Disease Control 2018 article, Progress Erased, 1 in 4 high school students have used e-cigarettes in the last 30 days. And up until the age of 25, our brains are still growing, and nicotine is causing impulsivity, behavior issues, and addiction. I'm sure we all have a friend or loved one who that vapes, and I'm here today to convince you just how addicting vaping is, the tragic things that can happen when they vape, and how we can help our loved ones with this tragedy. There are many dangers involved in vaping, but it's also becoming very popular in our schools. The Surgeon General 2019 said that there are many things that are in vape that are dangerous. There's formaldehyde and acrolein, which is a weed killer. Secondhand smoke has nicotine in it, and diacetyl, which is also known to cause lung disease. There's benzene that's found in car exhaust, nickel, tin, and lead. So Minnesota Health Department also said that vaping can trigger asthma in adults and children. The Washington Post article in 2019 titled, "He Went from Hiking Enthusiast to Death's Door." Alexander Mitchell was a person that had vaped for 2 years. He had recently bought a new vape and new vape juice and tried it, and within a couple hours he had flu-like symptoms. Within 2 days he was at death's door. They ended up having to take his blood out, running it through 2 tubes and out into a machine that cleaned his blood, also added oxygen, took out carbon dioxide, and put it back into his body. They were told, his parents were told, if he were to pull this out, he would die in seconds. They had no idea what was going on. They finally figured out that what he had was acute respiratory distress syndrome. This is something that they did not know to look at. It's generally with old people that inhale their laxatives that are oil-based, like mineral oil, so they didn't know what to look for. So now that you know the potential harm that can be done and a lifetime of addiction it causes, let me tell you some ways that we can possibly help stop this from happening. I'm going to introduce you some of the products that are in it, the dangers that are in vaping, the addicting qualities that it has, how it's affecting our society, and what we can do to stop this. So I'm going to tell you what's in the products, and then I'm also going to tell you why people start. So according to the 2018 FDA article titled National Youth Tobacco, 80% of high school students think that e-cigarettes do not harm them. And then also 22% under the age of 30 think that there is no danger in vaping. The reasons why people start vaping are a lot of different reasons, but the CDC has stated that there's 39% of our high school students that say that they started because a friend or family member has done it. Also, flavors were on the top 3 list of why people start. They like the flavor. And then nicotine, which is addicting. So some of the products that are in, or all the products that are in vape are, first of all, vegetable glycerin, which produces the clouds that people like to do tricks with. Propylene glycol is another one, and that's what carries the flavoring, and there's any kind of flavoring you can imagine, any flavor, and then nicotine. So the National Institute on Drug Abuse 2007 states that it takes 8 seconds from the time somebody inhales to the time that nicotine reaches your brain. Then Brookshire v. 2017 said, on the article, what is nicotine? Nicotine actually activates the reward system in your brain and causes you to have pleasure. And then, so it releases a lot of dopamine, more than normal, and also takes longer to dissipate. So by the time it dissipates, your brain is wanting more. That's addiction. So there's ways to help solve these problems, and that's regulating the manufacture, distribution, and marketing of tobacco products. And couple that with some proven population-based strategies that can reduce youth tobacco use and initiation. The first way we can do it is just not to start. The second way is to have to raise the prices on tobacco. Then third, we need to have some hard-hitting campaigns that will reach our youth and tell them the dangers of using e-cigarettes. The CDC has recommended that that until the age of 21, no one should be able to buy tobacco products, including vape, and that they should reduce the flavors to menthol and tobacco only. So now that you know all about vaping, what it is, the harm that comes from it, and what's being done to combat the problem, let me try and challenge you to do something. I challenge you to help your loved ones and friends that use e-cigarettes to stop vaping and to support them and inform them of the risk of vaping. Then I also challenge you to write to your senators and see if we can't get this law changed to raise the age to 21 and also to reduce the amount of flavors to just menthol and tobacco flavors. There are also programs that the government has. One is called smokefree.gov. The other one is, and then there's also trying to protect our youth from exposure in the first place. The last one is to write to our senators, see if we can make a difference. So we've discovered what vaping is, the serious health effects that it has on us, and the risk of addiction. And I've talked to you about why people start vaping, what products are in vaping, what we can do to stop them from vaping, and hopefully we can possibly reduce the risk. So every day that we go by without taking a stand on vaping, more and more kids start a habit that can potentially be a lifelong problem with large health risks. If each of us takes a stand and talks to our family and our loved ones, and especially to our senators, maybe we can help make this generation grow up to be healthier than the last one. And I'd like to thank you.
That was really good.
Yeah.